Welcome to this video on digital gold. I'm Matt Sheriff, and I was reading and watching a few things this week, and it really got me thinking about a concept that I'm going to explain in this video that I think is really powerful, and I really want you to pay attention to the message and what I'm getting at, because it really is pretty profound in kind of how history has taken place and what's come around now with Bitcoin, aka digital gold. And I have another video that explains why people call it digital gold, but it's basically because of its value, and it has a certain limit. There's not an infinite amount of Bitcoin. That makes it scarce and valuable in nature, because it's not like a paper currency where you can just print as much as you want. So in this video, I want to talk about Bitcoin being very similar to the dollar after World War I, when the American dollar was pegged to the gold standard. And basically this happened because the world was in a little bit of crisis and there was a lot of instability, and there needed to be some kind of safe haven currency that countries could use as an indicator for stability, and for that currency to represent actual value and be backed by something which they chose as gold, which has a long history of value from multiple nations that have risen and fallen over the years, and it's held its value. So the dollar was backed by gold, and that's what was known as the gold standard. And it did work for a while, and all over the world people wanted dollars because dollars were literally gold. How it worked was a dollar represented a certain amount of gold, and that dollar could be traded in for that gold if people wanted to do so. And then after a while, America's spending got kind of out of control, and the economic outlook of America was not balancing up with how strong the country was. So more and more people lost a little bit of faith, and they started to transfer more of their dollars into gold, which ultimately America didn't want, because a lot of their gold holdings were being transferred to this paper currency and they were losing a lot of it. So Nixon took them off the gold standard, and it kind of shook up a lot of things, because the paper currency was no longer backed by anything. It was just another paper currency. So what I'm trying to get at is that Bitcoin is that gold standard. It is that thing that's backed by something, because America just couldn't go and print an insane amount of money because their currency was backed by gold. It was backed by something that there was a set amount of. There's not an infinite amount of gold. If there was, and everybody had access to it outside their front porch, it wouldn't be as valuable as it is. And that's exactly what Bitcoin is. It's a form of currency that has a set amount and is valuable in nature because of how it's mined. Just like gold is dug up from the ground and mined in that way, cryptocurrency takes a lot of power and a lot of time, a lot of computing power and algorithms to produce the coin. It's just mined in a different way that creates its value. And Bitcoin doesn't care about inflation or it meeting certain demands of government. Nobody owns it, and that's why it is different in nature, because it can't be manipulated, which is great, and which is something people need. And I think that's why it's grown and grown, because we can see that's why people are putting their money into it. So in terms of the US dollar gold standard back in the day, Bitcoin kind of ties to that, because it is that stable, reliable, unmanipulated place of safety where people can put their money into and have that asset class which they can trust and liquidate themselves into and liquidate themselves out of pretty easily, which makes it very, very interesting for different people in different countries in different situations around the world. So I'm Sheriff. Hope that video was quite informative in the way of thinking about kind of history and how it's come about and how Bitcoin is transitioning into that safety net for people. I'm Sheriff. Subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other videos I've got going on. There's some free resources and different things in the box below. Check that out. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.